Welcome to the EQ Video Tip. I'm your host, Eric Forsetter, and as always, we're so grateful for you to join us today for another terrific episode of the EQ Video Tip. As always, before we jump in, let's review the goals of EQ Video Tip. Welcome back. We have a great show today. It comes to us from Stephanie Vaza, and she's going to talk to us about tips and habits of people who are highly productive working at home. And let's face it, when we started the pandemic, everybody was excited. We get to work from home in our pajamas, maybe not get dressed. And let's face it, if you look around here, you probably think I'm stuck in this office all the time, which sometimes I feel like it is that way. However, once that reality kicked in that, oh my gosh, we're going to have Zoom fatigue and we're working 12 or 14 hours. There's no separation between our daily life and our work life. Productivity went down and we just didn't feel the same way. And there was loneliness and other factors that really hurt us in terms of our productivity and what we wanted to do for work. Stephanie's going to talk to us about productive habits to make us feel more productive and separate our work lives from our personal lives. Let's jump into some of the tips that Stephanie recommends to help this out. Tip number one, set the stage. And this is really important because you want to utilize your workspace to ensure that you know that your body is understanding that now is the time to work versus be with your friends, be with your family. One way to set the stage, or a couple ways, is put an inspirational quote near where you work, or write down a checklist of items that you want to do or task lists that you're trying to accomplish either that day or that week. That gives you a signal to your mind that when you're in this space, you're working and you're focusing your energy on that and doing what's most important to you and most important to your job function. So set the stage early so that your brain knows it's work time as opposed to your mind wandering and doing other stuff. Tip number two, she recommends get rid, but I'll say reduce the low value activities that are out there. What are those things? Meetings, garbage emails, protocols, paperwork that is just mundane to the task. Now we can't get rid of all of this, and that's why I say reduce, but be smart about when you reply to them. Use that time wisely. If you have a flow of emails that can wait till later on in the day, wait till later on in the day to get to them. If there's a team meeting that's important, obviously do it in the morning, but if it's something, hey, we want to catch up on something that is medium to low priority, make sure that's later in the day so you get the most productive hours of your day working on the tasks that are most critical to you, where your brain is optimized for working. So be sure to reduce the amount of low value activities and prioritize them as you go through your day. Tip number three, add a white space. And we all talk about adding breaks to the day. There's no right answer in terms of when you should take a break. Again, there's different theories after 21 minutes, after 90 minutes, after 60 minutes. The key is to listen to your body and listen to your mind. Understand when you're drained from doing a task and take that time to add white space to your day so that you ensure you're ready for the next task that comes up. And when you do that white space, leave the area you're in. So for example, for me, I hopefully can get out of this office for a few minutes. You should do the same. Make sure that you build in white space, and if you need it before that allotted time that you have, take it then. Again, listen to your body so that you ensure you have white space within your day. Our next tip, keep your email to intervals. And we talked a little about this earlier on, but it's really important with email to be mindful of when you're checking it and when you're responding to it, because email can suck you in and you can get caught in a loop where you're emailing back and forth with someone for 20, 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour, even more. And what that does is it takes away from your productivity of other tasks that you should be working on, especially the ones that require your full functional brain to think about what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. So when you're looking at your day, pick specific times when you're going to respond to email and what you're going to do with it. It's even possible to turn off email. Either close out your Outlook or your Gmail or whatever it is that you use. just turn it away, take a break from it, and give yourself that hour or 2 hours of time where your brain can function and look specifically at the task you're focusing on, as opposed to email, which is draining that brain power. Our last tip: create a clocking out ritual. Now, we're probably not all on the clock here. We're, a factory worker where we clock in and clock out, but we need to do that because even though we're not necessarily on an hourly wage system, we want to make sure that our brain mentally knows that we've tapped out for the day. And it's important to do that. There's a few ways you can do it. Maybe create like a virtual clock or something in your room where you just hit that button and say, okay, I'm done. Or if you live with people, whether it's your spouse, your friends, your family, have a ritual where you say, I'm done working for the day. Just a little mindful thing that makes it in your mind and theirs that your work is completed. If you live alone, you can still do the same. Send yourself a text, send a text to a friend, or just write something down that says, hey, I'm done for the day and work is over. This allows your brain to separate between living in this box that I live in right now, or the one that you live in for work, and actually the other parts of your house and home that require you to be in your personal life as opposed to your work life. So take a moment, figure out a way to create a clocking out system, create that ding so that you can go forward. That concludes this week's EQ video tip. Hopefully the tips that Stephanie provided for you will help you become more productive when working from home and understand how to separate between work life and personal life. Remember, use them to your best ability, but customize them for what works best for you. So that concludes our EQ video tip for today. Try incorporating some of these tips into your daily routine. But remember, use what works best for you and personalize it for yourself. Thank you always to our great research team for providing us with some great tips today. As always on EQ Video Tip, we want to end with gratitude. So thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Here are some resources that you can use if you want more information on EQ going forward. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you.